sudden and exceptionally violent thunderstorm accompanied by destructive squalls and torrential rain struck Cao Lanh City, the capital of Dong Thap Province in the Mekong Delta, on Saturday afternoon. The severe weather system, which rolled in unexpectedly around 3:30 p.m., ripped through multiple administrative wards, leaving a trail of physical destruction, uprooted urban trees, collapsed roofs, disrupted telecommunications, and localized power outages. According to the Dong Thap Hydro-Meteorological Station, the localized downpour dumped varying amounts of rainfall across the city, ranging between 5 millimeters to 15 millimeters within a short duration, with some pockets recording spikes exceeding 20 millimeters. The total volume of precipitation was not unprecedented. It was the catastrophic velocity of the localized wind gusts and severe downbursts that inflicted severe damage on the city's aging trees and light civil infrastructure. Emergency rescue operations, civil defense forces, municipal sanitation crews, and local youth volunteers were immediately deployed to clear heavy debris and assist affected residents. The municipal authorities confirmed late Saturday evening that no human casualties or severe injuries had been recorded within the hardest-hit wards. The destructive squalls did not hit the city uniformly. Instead, they struck in localized bursts, heavily impacting 3 major wards in the central and suburban perimeters of Cao Lanh City. As the commercial and administrative heart of the city, Cao Lanh Ward bore the brunt of the aesthetic and structural urban damage. The core issue here was the sudden failure of mature, decades-old trees lining major thoroughfares. Dozens of massive shade trees, which form the signature green canopy of the city center, were completely unseated from the soil or split directly down their trunks. Falling branches and massive trunks directly flattened at least 2 civilian cars parked along the sidewalks, reducing the vehicles to wreckage. Fallen trunks completely barricaded primary roads, halting motorbikes and passenger buses mid-transit, creating massive bottlenecks that gridlocked downtown traffic for several hours. As heavy branches snapped downward, they dragged down overhead electricity lines and fiber optic telecommunication cables, causing instantaneous blackouts and cutting off internet connectivity for thousands of metropolitan households. My Tra ward suffered intense wind shear damage to private property. The high-velocity squalls created strong aerodynamic lift, peeling off heavy corrugated iron and zinc roofing sheets from numerous residential houses. These airborne sheets were tossed into adjacent lanes, creating extreme hazards. Stripped of their roofs, several homes were completely exposed to the accompanying downpour, destroying indoor electronics, furniture, clothing, and stored food supplies. My Ngai ward, characterized by a mix of residential housing and semi-rural agricultural zones, witnessed severe structural degradation. Unreinforced, temporary, or older homes were completely leveled or suffered structural failures under the sheer force of the wind gusts. The heavy gusts flattened delicate cash crops, ornamental plants, and backyard fruit orchards, dealing an economic blow to local family farmers who rely on these high-value seasonal yields. The local government initiated an all-hands-on-deck emergency response. Teams from the urban green park management agencies utilized chainsaws to section off fallen trees blockading streets. Heavy machinery moved the immense logs to the side to re-establish emergency lanes. The local branch of Electricity Vietnam, EVN, dispatched technicians to isolate damaged transformers and restring severed lines, working into the night to gradually restore power to the blacked-out wards. Local defense forces and community workers visited households that had lost their roofs. They helped residents set up temporary plastic tarpaulins to shield their belongings from potential overnight lingering showers. This latest storm highlights a dangerous escalatory trend in extreme weather patterns hitting Dong Thap Province. According to municipal data, throughout 2025, Dong Thap experienced 26 major instances of heavy rain, squalls, and lightning strikes. Those natural disruptions led to 2 deaths, 23 injuries, and the structural destruction or roof damage of 819 homes, costing the local economy an estimated 35 billion Vietnamese dong. From mid-April 2026 leading up to this June 20th event, the province had already weathered 4 highly destructive squall events, tearing roofs off or collapsing over 140 homes and damaging 5 school facilities, totaling over 2.3 billion Vietnamese dong in damages prior to this weekend's storm. Mr. Quang Le Bin, the director of the Dong Thap Hydrometeorological Station, issued a stern public warning following the cleanup. He emphasized that the transition into the peak rainy season regularly triggers highly volatile atmospheric conditions. Residents are urged to proactively reinforce their roof trusses, trim old or vulnerable tree branches near their properties, and closely monitor official emergency weather channels to mitigate asset damage during future atmospheric anomalies. Meanwhile, power poles and trees fell, causing localized power outages in several areas. Power sector officials immediately arrived to address the situation and repair the damage, ensuring electrical safety and restoring power to residents as soon as possible. Initial reports indicate that 6 houses had their roofs completely blown off. As of 6:30 p.m. on the same day, no casualties had been reported. In My Ngai ward, thunderstorms affected 3 houses, with 2 completely collapsing and 1 having its roof completely blown off. Additionally, 5 sidewalk trees were broken and felled. 6.5 hectares of crops and fruit trees were damaged, including 0.8 hectares completely destroyed and 5.7 hectares with 30 to 50% damage. In several areas of My Tra and Towolan wards, many old trees were uprooted and fell across roads, obstructing traffic. The fallen trees crushed the fence of Anh Dao Kindergarten and several power lines and telecommunication cables. A large tree was uprooted and fell onto a parked car, causing significant damage. Fortunately, no one was inside the car at the time of the incident. Along the affected roads, the sight of military and police officers, militia members, and power company workers diligently working amidst still unstable weather conditions left a positive impression on the people. Specialized vehicles were mobilized to the maximum extent to cut and transport trees off the roads. The power company focused on resolving the incidents and gradually restoring the power grid in the affected areas. By approximately 6:30 p.m., many roads had been cleared, ensuring traffic flow resumed. Power was restored to many areas that had experienced power outages. However, authorities remained on site, assisting residents in clearing fallen trees and signs and addressing potential safety hazards. On Dang Van Binh Street, a nearly 10-meter-tall mahogany tree fell, crushing a parked car. Mr. Thuy, the car owner, said his family of 4 had just gotten out of the car to visit the Lotus Festival when the storm hit. There was continuous thunder and lightning, followed by strong winds and heavy rain that lasted about 30 minutes, he said. Another car parked on Tran Thi Nhuong Street was also hit by a falling tree. There was no one inside at the time. Many trees fell onto offices and cafes on Nguyen Dinh Chieu, Nguyen Thai Hoc, and Ly Thuong Kiet streets. According to the People's Committee of Cao Lanh Ward, the storm also damaged the roofs of 6 houses, but caused no casualties. The storm occurred while the locality was holding the Lotus Festival. Many miniature landscapes, display tents, and stalls selling Lotus products were damaged.